Hi, welcome back to Good Enough Photography. Today I'm going to show you how to make a photo look like a collage using like newspapers or something. This is done completely in Photoshop with no AI because AI makes me cry. So before we get into that, I'm Good Enough Photography. I am a beginner photographer. I make a ton of tutorials like this every week on Mondays, hopefully. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So, first you gotta start off with your image. This is mine. I know it looks a little weird. That's why I'm kind of using this filter on it, because it's gonna change it fundamentally, because this was taken at night, so it is kind of like grainy and funky. I tried fixing it with like Lightroom filters, but it just didn't work, so we're gonna do this tutorial today. So, first you gotta make sure your image is the correct size, because what I've learned is that using the cutout filter, which Jesus, we are gonna use, is going to, you need a bigger image. So, as, I don't know why I just did it and didn't tell you. You want the height of your image to be at least around 3,000. If it's like 200, if it's like 2,800, that's fine. Mine was like really too small though, so, you know, just... Now, this will make it a little, like, slower to process the image, but it's fine. Another thing that I'm gonna do, you don't have to, it just really depends on your image. Since these are, like, kind of blending together, I am going to attempt to select just what I need, but, oop, that only took the bug. So, let's see if we can just select the rest of what we need. Because I don't want this background in there. It's not selecting big chunks. That's annoying. Okay, one big chunk. Maybe. Because what we want... Nope. Oh well. We'll just make it into a mask. Well, that's not what we want. Okay. Well, I'll zoom in and I'll take a brush. I'll change the size to like 21 or something. And we're gonna do add to mask. That's actually a little small. We could probably do 50. And then we just wanna kind of refill that back in so that we have exactly everything we want. Nothing left out. Because the background is just kind of really blendy in this one, so I just wanna make sure that we have a good separation between what we're doing. So now I'm going to do subtract from the mask. And I'm just going to start with the... Oh my god. I was about to say it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be better than that. Since mine is supposed to be like concrete. Well, it is not supposed to be. It is concrete. It is okay if it's a little bumpy. Also, you can't really tell too much in the final product, but you know, just do your best. Hopefully your image will be easier to select. Also, for the type of image you want to do, you do want to do a more simpler image. That's why I'm not using one of my flowers. Well, I mean, I could use like one of my more distinct flowers, but like I can't use like... I was gonna use some foxgloves, but it was like a very close-up of like a bunch of foxgloves together. So you just need something that you can split up into like sections, like in your mind, if you think about it. It should be black and white, but you don't have to have a black and white image. You could just edit it now. But yeah. That intending was not a great job. But basically, like, yeah. You just want to do your best. But for the image you do, like, it works good with portraits. Like, close-up portraits. But as someone who does not do portraits, I'm not editing a portrait. So, yeah. So you do want something that is a little more, like, focused on a central subject. Rather than, like, you know, a bunch of flowers in a cluster or something. Something that you can easily tell what it is by, like, a few colors or, like, a few blocky shapes sort of thing. Because that's what we're doing right now. You know the collages I'm talking about, right? Where someone takes, like, newspaper or something and they make an image, like a face or something. Right? I don't know anymore. So I'm just gonna... I'm almost done with this step. Yet again, this step is optional, but it'll just look better for my image. And now that we have that done... what we would what we would like to do is go to layer, new fill layer, solid color. I'm gonna choose white. I'm gonna choose white. You could choose, I'm just trying to get the purest white I can. You could choose like black or something. It just depends on your image. I know this looks a little weird and I could probably go for like a gray or something, but it's fine. It's just more contrast, you know? Because we want to try to get as much contrast as we can. I could do gray, but since we are like editing this photo, you're not really going to see it too much anyway. So now I'm going to select both of these and convert it to a smart object to make it one layer. I'm also going to go, you don't have to do this. I don't have to do this because mine is black and white, but if yours isn't, just, desaturate it all the way. Just make sure that there's no color. It's just simpler that way, and anyway, all the color is going to disappear, so yeah. Now what we want to do is go to filter, stylize, and oil paint. So first you want to make sure lighting is off because we don't need that. Then stylization 10, cleanliness 10, and since lighting is off, these don't really matter too much because lighting's off. So just keep it like that. Then, yet again, this is optional. I just think it makes the image look better. You go to adjustments and you go to shadows and highlights and just keep it at the default, what automatically sets to. So like the 35%, blah, blah, blah. Just keep it there because I think it works. Yet again, you can play around with it. As I always say, Photoshop tutorials are not 100%. I can tell you the order and I can tell you around values, but it won't be the same for every single image because every single image has different color values and different things, so the numbers won't be perfect. But yet again, you gotta play around with it. That's just the reality of Photoshop. So now we go to filter, filter gallery, and yeah, since it's a large image, you need some Wi-Fi or something for this because it's going to take a while to load into this and it might crash. So not crash, but like take a long time to load. So I'm going to zoom out completely because I want to see my entire image. I mean, I could probably zoom in a little more, but it's fine. So we kind of want to stay around 8 levels. I mean, you can do, I might zoom in a little more to see my little bug guy. So you can, I do 8 levels, but you could play around a 7 or 5. Just play around. I'd say 8 levels looks the best. There we go. I mean, it doesn't matter too much what we're doing, but yeah. Edge of fidelity. I mean, oh yeah, I forgot to explain these. I'm sorry. Filter gallery has multiple filters in it. It has artistic. It has, sorry, I just made my bug look dumb. It is artistic, brush strokes, which is brush strokes, distort, which is like a distortion, like glass or something, stylize, which only does one effect, sketch, which is sketch kind of stuff, texture. Artistic, what we want right now is cutout, which for what we want, it's kind of like how I explain it, it's like cutting out paper to do the different colors, which is kind of what we want. So we want 8 levels right now. We do want 4 like in the future, but since with the cutout, it's just easier to do 8 and then go back later with like a different filter. And I'll show you how to do it, but yeah. For edge of simplicity, let's see. I would say somewhere between the 5 and 7. 5 or 8 ratio. Yet again, depends on your photo. I think 5 looks good for this one. But yeah, edge of fidelity doesn't do too much. So yeah. Okay, so then what we want to do is go to layer, new adjustment layer, and posterize. This is where we're going to make it 4 layers. See, you go to 4 here. I mean, that's how many layers we have. Well, we don't have that many, but you know what I mean. But we want 4 right now. And I know it looks a little weird, and you might be like, oh, I don't like how it looks. Well, then click back down to the layer we were on before, so it's underneath. Go to layer. where is it? New adjustment layer and then levels. So then you can kind of like, so you hold the middle one and so you could kind of play around with the values for what you want. And I think that looks good right now, but yet again, we can always play around later. So yeah, then we want to go to this little, it's like a circle with like a line. It's like a half and half circle thing. And you want to go to, and this is a bunch of different options, but right now we just want gradient map. So gradient map, you're going to get this fun little thingy. So you want to click on that. And so this is like our we have 4 levels right now. And the 4 grays. Well, one's black, one's white, and then we have 2 grays. Right now, we want to find those and change them to colors so it's easier to edit in a minute. So click around anywhere around here. Doesn't matter exactly. And we want to set red to 255. And then we want to set everything else to 0. So it is the purest of pure reds. And we also want to make sure that the location is 33. Now, you can't just drag it to 33 because then it might be like 33.2 or 33.7 or something. And Photoshop won't like tell you. So yeah. Then we want to select like a value over here. And we want to turn that into a 0, but we want to turn green into a 255 because we want this color to be green. And we want the location to be 67. And then we go all the way to the last color, which is usually white, but we are gonna change all these values to 0 and we're gonna make blue. So we have all the colors we want and your image should be looking something like this, which looks weird, but just trust the process. Now what you want to do is go to Google or whatever, and you want to find collages. So what you want is you want a dark one, so like black almost. You want a gray one, a slightly less gray, more white one, and then you want a really white one. So just look around for stuff. You can find a bunch. I'm pretty sure Pinterest has some stuff too. And also, you don't need to use like white. You can use colors if you want. It's just the effect that you want for your own image. But I like to use the like monotones. But yet again, whatever you want. You could change like the search up to be paper instead of newspaper or whatever, and it'll probably give you different things. I already have some saved that I like though, so I'm gonna use those right now as my demonstration. So I'm gonna grab those. So you want to put the darkest one first, like you want to layer them from darkest to lightest. And if your image doesn't fit perfectly like mine doesn't, just, you know, crop it, make it fit. First one down. Oh, I forgot to mention, you want 4 layers, so just going along. We got number 2 in there. Time for number 3. Now, number 4. And also, one thing I forgot to mention, if your image is like too small and looks pixely at first, when you like press OK, it'll like depixel itself. Unless it looks blurry, then it's going to keep looking blurry because that's just the image you have. So you want to make all these non-visible except your dark one, which mine is black. And you want to double click it so it brings up the blend menu, the layer style. But we want blending options right now. So we want to have the blend if gray, and you want to take this little guy right there and you want to go all the way down to there. As you can see, that replaces our black with this black newspaper collage thing I had. So that's step 1. Now we repeat it for all of them. So for this one, double click it again. But instead this time, instead of if blend gray, we do if blend red, and we bring it all the way this way. So it replaces our red with this gray. Then we repeat again with this one. And we go green. We go all the way up with green. And it replaces our green with that. Then we open this. We double click again. We go to blue. All the way up. And boom, it replaces our blue. Now, I don't like this too much right now. I think it could look better. So what we're gonna do is go back to levels. And since we can edit this, so we can play around with it. Like, this is too much, obviously, because then the bug guy is like blending in with that. So, and that's too little because then we only have, you know, barely any bug guy. So I think I'm gonna sorry, I'm just playing around. I do like his little shadow being there, so like darker, like kind of looking. I think I like these being two separate colors right here. Yeah, I think that looks good. Yet again, play around with it. Every image is different. You can use colors. You can even like make your own collages, take pictures of them. And you don't have to use collages either. You can use like just like colors or stuff. Like you can find your own things. It's just a really cool way to be able to lay your textures underneath an image, you know? I mean, I think it looks good. Yet again, it's your own taste. It's my own taste. I might play around with it a little more because I'm a bit of a freak. But I do kind of like that like spiral thing that appeared, but if I like go up here, it disappears. So I mean, I do kind of like this spot. I think the spiral looks cool. But then my bug's a little less bug, you know? You know when your bug's not bugging? That's a weird sentence. Or like, do I like that black? Or do I like a little bit like the touching of black? But then that makes like the bug too black. So like maybe I want a tiny bit of black in there, but then the bug's really black. Maybe like that? That's kind of cool. Just play around with it, you know? Have fun. Play around with it. But yeah, thanks for watching my tutorial. This was Good Enough Photography. I post hopefully every Monday at 4. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my channel for other videos and other tutorials. Oh, also check out my website at goodenoughphotography.com, and I'll see you next week.